Everyone knows the iconic T-Rex of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, Rexy. They also know the famous velociraptor Blue. But Jurassic World Rebirth tells a different story on these two. Many fans just simply believe they disappeared after Jurassic World Dominion, potentially poofed into the wild. But the truth of their existence is far more complex and filled with overlooked details no one's even explored yet. So what's really happened to these two? Are they out in the wild? Are they even still alive? Well, believe it or not, the answer isn't what you'd expect. Get ready to have your mind completely blown on this matter as we uncover the truth and the intricate story of their survival. And immediately I'd like to address something, their last known sightings. Let's take Rexy to start. We'll get on to Blue in just a second. Rexy was last seen at the very end of Jurassic World Dominion. She meets up in Biosyn Sanctuary with Buck and Doe, and therefore we assume she's going to live her life out peacefully in that sanctuary, right? Well, not entirely, we'll come back to that in a second. Blue is last seen as well at the end of Dominion, running off into the mountainous regions in Nevada with her little beta baby. Now, it's important to note here that Jurassic World Dominion is set in the year 2022. Jurassic World Rebirth is set in the year 2027. So 5 years pass and we have Jurassic World Rebirth. So what do we know of Biosyn Sanctuary at this point? What do we know of Blue and what do we know of Rexy? Well, let's listen to what the movie tells us. We see Bronto Billy in New York City, and they say Bronto Billy is one of the last known dinosaurs in the US. More specifically, one of the last known sauropods in the US. Now, we know that wouldn't mean Rexy because she's in basically northern Italy now in Biosyn Valley at this point. And Blue, well, she's in the north of the US and she's not a sauropod, so it doesn't really apply to them, right? But something does apply to them. Let's look at Bronto Billy one last time. On the radio, it actually says that the clone dinosaurs are beginning to die off because they're outside their equatorial range and due to the non-equatorial climates no longer being suitable for them, as well as other diseases. It's quite a sad scene and you obviously see Bronto Billy collapse and they're trying to lift it back up with cranes, and it's a horrible fate, to be honest. And it got me thinking, could this have applied to the mascot of the franchise, the T-Rex Rexy? And I thought, well, no, of course not, it couldn't have. She's in Biosyn Sanctuary, we see her living her best life at the end of the Dominion movie. But then I researched a little deeper. Is Biosyn Sanctuary in the equatorial range? The equator? And I looked at it. Biosyn Valley is located in northern Italy. That is not in the equatorial range. Hell, it's classed as the northern hemisphere. It's literally halfway to the Antarctic. So no, that climate would not be suitable for them clone dinosaurs. My heart started to break, so I started to research even further, and by the time Rebirth came around, Rexy would be around 37 years old, give or take, maybe even more. That is way beyond the average lifespan of a T-Rex, which is 30 years, even with good care. Now, you could say that she was genetically modified to live longer, but we don't really have any proof of that. But hang on, 1 second here. Biosyn Sanctuary was a sanctuary for dinosaurs. Surely they would have put the best care in there possible, making sure the environment matched what they thought was their environment when they existed 65 million years ago. And I started to have hope again that she could be alive, but then I thought, oh no. At the end of Dominion, Biosyn Sanctuary becomes unstable after the events of Dominion. You know, the fire, Biosyn actually getting taken down, the change of environment, and the fate of the other dinosaurs in the valley. Did anyone take over the Biosyn Sanctuary? Were the dinosaurs just left to their own devices like they were previously on Isla Sorna? The movie tells us dinosaurs are now only located in one place, and that is this special island they're going to. They do not mention the dinosaurs of Biosyn Valley anymore, and I think, hang on, if they needed dinosaur DNA and dinosaurs were still in the Biosyn Sanctuary, I mean massive dinosaurs, we see the Apatosaurus there, surely they would have gone there if they survived, and it tells me they didn't. The odds are that our favourite franchise mascot Rexy is deceased, either by old age, the poor living conditions, or the change of environment. And for me, that's a sad end to the franchise mascot, off screen as well. But what other way could they have done it? But hang on, Rexy's story isn't over there. I'll come back to hers in a second. Let's continue with Blue, because we haven't even spoke about her or Beta just yet. The last known sighting of her was her running off into the mountainous regions with Beta, but under Owen's care. Now, the interesting thing here is we know Blue to be highly intelligent, and she's going to be overseen by Owen. Is there a chance that Owen noticed perhaps their decline in their health and moved them closer to the equator or another habitable area? I mean, Owen, Claire, and Maisie would have moved with Blue and Beta to the equator, 100%, if Owen had noticed a decline in Blue's health. There is an issue with this, however. They'd have to transport Blue and Beta secretly to a location near the equator where they could roam freely, unhindered by any type of human presence. And for me, it would seem highly likely, especially with Owen and Claire overseeing Blue and baby Beta. If they noticed something was wrong, they would 100% step in. They have that bond. The real glaring issue for me is that Biosyn sanctuary. It is not located in the equatorial range, and therefore, all the dinosaurs in that sanctuary would potentially die out, including our beloved franchise mascot, Rexy. So is there any way that them dinosaurs in that sanctuary could have survived? Now I'm going to look at this logically. Look at Fallen Kingdom. Ian Malcolm goes to court and advocates that the dinosaurs had their shot and they should be left to their extinction. And people agreed with them. They left the dinosaurs on Isla Nublar to die in that massive volcano, saying it was nature's way to let them die off once again. And the same thing is happening in Rebirth. The reason they're dying off wasn't because of lack of food or anything as such. It was because of the atmosphere and the climate. It wasn't what they were used to 65 million years ago. So they were naturally dying off. Nature was killing them off once again. So naturally, Ian Malcolm, and everyone else for that matter, would probably agree, let them die out. Unless Biosyn didn't collapse and they kept control of that sanctuary and adjusted their tech inside the sanctuary specifically for the dinosaurs, to care for them. Heating, less oxygenated air, whatever it might be. Biosyn had the technology. I mean, they literally had chips in their dinosaurs to herd them into the center of the sanctuary. They had a field over the top of their sanctuary as well to stop the aerial dinosaurs from literally leaving the sanctuary. They could, if they wanted to, easily adjust the atmosphere in that little dome of theirs if they wanted to. They would have the technology, right? I mean, if they could genetically engineer dinosaurs, bring back extinct species, I'm pretty sure they could care for them as well. Well, maybe. And if not, life will find a way. I'd hate to think that the franchise is doing our mascot an injustice, doing her a dirty by killing her off screen. I'd like to think she was in Biosyn Sanctuary, cared for. Someone took that sanctuary over, modified it to ensure the dinosaurs there were kept a secret potentially, kept safe, and cared for until the end of their lifespan. That would include Rexy. She was an old woman in Rebirth. It was inevitable that she was going to die off at some point, unless they're going to say that in her genome, they put a long-lasting, aging genome or something like that. But obviously there is that rumor that the skeleton we see in Rebirth was the T-Rex, Rexy. I personally don't buy that, and nor does the movie say that anywhere at all. It could literally just be a skeleton of a tyrannosaur, a legitimate one they dug up 65 million years ago. You know, we do see a skeleton in the first movie as well, you know. There are still dinosaur bones out there. But as for their fates, to me, I think Blue has likely survived due to the fact that Owen would relocate her, noticing if anything was wrong in her climate. Rexy, on the other hand, unless she was cared for in that Biosyn sanctuary, and I mean properly cared for, that they adjusted the environment, because obviously it was outside of that equatorial zone, then, pains me to say it, she would have died off. But the main question is, what do you think? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment below. Don't forget to like the video and hype it, and subscribe if you love dinosaurs and are a Jurassic fan, because there's plenty of videos coming up like this, and you'll miss them if you're not subscribed. So subscribe right now. Also, consider becoming a member where you can see videos early. Look at our fellow members on screen right now. DVM Wannabe 1018, Hammer Time, and our Jurassic CEOs Joseph Frost Ghost and Zarkadian. And as always, if you came across a velociraptor out in the open, could your day get any worse? You bet Jurassic can. Catch you later.